Make sure you sit up to the microphone like a big boy.
Real quick,
Like,
how do I sound?
You sound good. You're good.
Okay. No more heavy breathing.
Nope.
Cool.
alrighty. Well, Tyler, Chuck, you guys know me. I've been in the hobby for probably about half a decade now at this point, and I think I have accomplished something that neither of you two have accomplished yet before.
What's that?
I am now followed by a published Black Library author.
Ooh, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, who's
Yeah.
that?
That would be oh my god, now I'm blanking on the name because I'm a terrible person.
This is a
Wow.
great intro.
It's a great intro, but that
You
would
brought
be
it up and don't even know the name.
That'd be Avalon Irons. They just have now published their second short story for Black Library, and I read it. It was a banger. I loved it, and so I reached out to them on Instagram, like, I loved your work, and then they were very thankful to hear my kind words, and then they gave me a follow back. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's fantastic. Tyler, who do you think is the most famous person that follows you?
Like here or like all on the internet?
Here and on the internet.
What's his name? Who was the kid in Star Trek?
Jake
let's see.
Gyllenhaal.
No.
Jake Owen. Jake Owen?
No, like fucking Next Generation.
Star Trek? Oh,
Yeah, Star Trek.
Will Wheaton?
Yeah, Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton and I were mutuals on Tumblr for a minute. And then like as far as on like social media like that I use currently, shoot, I don't know. There's a guy from Temple of the Fuzzwitch that follows me. I have like a couple like musicians and stuff like that.
Never heard of that person ever.
You know, I mean like you don't know about obscure music or music really.
Okay, real quick. Anybody in our audience, have you heard of Temple of the Fuzzwitch?
Most definitely. Most definitely people in our audience have. Like there's some doomheads out there. I'm mutuals with Matt Pike of High on Fire and Sleep, Grammy award-winning musician. That's pretty famous on TikTok.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, so then like some porn stars and stuff like that I've been mutuals with in the past.
Yeah.
So
like,
but like in a friendly way, not like a creepy way.
Gotcha.
I knew them personally.
So probably my biggest one is Stephen Chotke from the infamy Prey. So that's pretty deep cut for y'all too.
Absolutely. I have no clue what that is.
Yeah, it's because I just literally made up a name and then put in a band generator onto Google, and that's what I came up with. Because that sounds like what you're doing too. So
that's awesome. Well done.
Yeah. So welcome to the Vox Cascadia podcast, by the way. You heard Connor with his stirring intro where he forgot the name of the person who he was so excited that it followed him, and then myself and Tyler over there.
Well, part of it, the problem was I wanted to double check. I said their author name because the author name is different than what their Instagram name is. So I just wanted to go with the formal name to make sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. Little off my sleep schedule because work, but overall well.
What have you been up to in the hobby, Connor?
Just a bunch of building of dudes. The escalation league for Heresy that I joined has started, and I've got 500 points pretty much all built at this point, getting primed and painted by Saturday.
You got a tournament coming up, or just the league?
Just the escalation league. It's more of like a hobby side thing than it is like actually getting games in, which is nice because it's over in a store in the Seattle area. Good friends over at Waystone, but there'll definitely be games part of it. Like we're doing kind of a for fun league where you earn points for doing certain things. Like painting is the number one way to earn points. Playing games at different points levels as we like get them higher earns us points. And then there's like little secret stuff like making battle reports, writing little short stories, all that jazz can earn you some points as well.
Are you going to be painting your whole Heresy army and sub-assemblies?
No, partially. Like the nice thing about Heresy is the guns, like on the bolters for the most part, are very easy to match with the guys. So you can put everything except the bolter in their hands and paint them.
Why? Just paint them on them, dude. There's nothing
I don't
behind
like
them.
doing that. I always feel like there's a weird spot on their gut that I still see, and it annoys me.
Nobody else sees it.
I see it, and it bothers me.
Well, then just prime them black. And
No.
then behind there's a spot. What color are you painting them, anyways?
That's the nice part is for the Marines, I'm doing a Black Shield Force, so it's very simple. It's pretty much just entirely iron, so I just prime them iron, and then touch up the helmet, shields, and like a little bit of accessories on the armor. But the guns the bolters I'm priming black because again, you prime them black. I do the details and glue them on, very easy peasy like.
Well, you're wasting a ton of time with that piece. So
Not really. It looks better because otherwise I'd have to go touch the bolter black. It's easier just to prime 20 chain swords and 20 bolters black than it is to touch them up individually.
wow. Tyler, what have you been up to? You finished your Goremongers, right? This is the part where you talk. Got to hit the mute button.
Oh shit! Yeah, I unmute myself. That helps. Yeah, I finished finished
like
my
Zoom meeting
sanctifiers.
going on here.
Absolutely, man. The worst is when you unmute yourself in a Zoom meeting and you don't want to. I think that's worse than being like muted and trying to talk.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like last week I finished up my sanctifiers, and then less than a week later I got my Goremongers all finished up. They just came together real fast, and I wanted to keep them like real dark and desaturated and creepy looking.
Nice. Well, I have been working on a team for Brandon Bean for the Memorial Day tournament coming up. I'm working on Aquilons. So I've figured out my scheme. I started on the base coats, and
You figured out your scheme. You mean you looked at the box art, or are you actually doing something different than box art?
I mean, it's box art, but it's a little different. So what I really wanted to do was I saw Mountainside Tabletop how they did their ratlings, and I really liked it. They used some undershading and of like a blue on the bottom, a purple on the top on one side, and then a orange on the bottom and a red on top on the other side. So I tried that, and I was gonna do that because then you can do lighter layers, and it the undershading comes through and shines through. But they have too much armor, I think, for this. So eventually I just went to kind of purple and blue on one side, and then I'm really only painting like half the models because the other side's going to look like it's kind of in shadow. So but the other side is basically box art. So I do want to come back, and I really want to try the undershade method. I think I might do it on like Goremongers because I think they'd be really good. I think it works better on stuff that has a lot more like cloth or skin, whereas like the Aquilons, there's no skin except for on the chick with the knife, and then they got a lot of armor, so I don't really think that scheme really works. But I am excited to actually try it again. But yeah, basically kind of box art, but the half of it's in shadow, so I really don't have to pay like half the model. So I think they turned out.
They're looking really good. I noticed that when I was like looking at your progress, I noticed they're like your color selection is quite a bit brighter than box art would normally be, which is really like cool for that half. And hearing you explain how you're doing them now, it makes a lot of sense. Like the more intense light on the one side and the shadows on the other. They're looking really good. Like your colors were popping on there.
Well, I appreciate that. Unfortunately, I did give up on the like brighter colors because I felt like it again because I was painting like armor, and there's not much cloth, mostly only their pants and a little bit on their arms. So I kind of gave up on the brighter color piece, but the backside and shade piece will be. I'm going to continue with that because I like the idea and I like the look of it, and I only have to paint like half the model. So I was working on some base coats the other day. On now I've got like 2 of them painted, and I've got it figured out. So I got to have them done.
How many colors do you guys use when you paint generally?
As many as it takes.
I think probably like 5 to 7 in terms of like actual base counts, and then like throwing 2 shades and a layer paint or 2.
Wow.
Mine are. I'm probably using on these guys 10 to 15, but that's like I'm gonna do at least 2 to 3 layers of highlights on the armor, or excuse me, on the pants, because they're like a teal pant, and I'm gonna do a couple layers of highlights. There's, I mean, if you count the airbrushed, like
Primer doesn't count.
no, not necessarily I don't airbrush the primer. I use the black.
Oh yeah, your rattle can.
Yeah, I'm a rattle can hoe.
Rattle cans are great. You get a good high.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, I'm probably like 15 colors. So
Okay. I'm like 5, maybe 6 colors total most of the time.
yeah, I mean, these guys have like a couple different kinds of leather. Like they've got their boots are darker color. They've got straps on there that hold up their armor. The armor is one like dark gray color, and then I'll do a lighter gray highlight. There's 3 different metallics on these guys because they have some silver that I'm highlighting on the weapons. They have some kind of like, it's not a silver, but it's it's kind of halfway between a silver and a bronze, which is their trim. They have like a bronze on their faceplate, and they actually have they have some gold Aquillas on them too. So it's actually, I guess it's 4 metallics, and then a couple shades on that. So yeah, it's probably close to 15 colors. I do like Blood Angels. It's maybe 6, but a bunch of those are through the airbrush too. So, gentlemen, this is episode number 69. So, Connor,
Nice.
Connor, I have a special surprise for you.
Oh boy.
But I can't give it to you today. So actually, I need your address. So, because I need to mail it to you. I just picked it up yesterday, and
I am deeply concerned about what this could be.
You should.
It's gonna be one of. Have you guys seen those brain rot books, like where the people like go up to someone in a store and they'll pull out the album of brain rot photos? They'll like tap them.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No fucking clue, Tyler.
Cool. All right, never mind. That's what I'm assuming that this is, but with pictures of like Warhammer model feet.
So what's a brain rot album?
I mean, like it's like a folder or a photo album filled with brain rot images, and generally, the video format is people will walk up to someone in a public place, like out at a park, and they'll hold the album full of these brain rot internet memes and kind of just tap it, and the people, they have no clue what to do most of the time. It's very awkward.
I mean,
kind of hilarious.
I kind of feel like right now, like.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by brain rot, and I'm kind of afraid to ask.
It is not brain rot. It is something that I actually went out of my way to get for you, Connor. So I'll need your address, and then I will send it to you, and we'll actually have you. You can't open it until we're on a podcast, though, because I want your
Well, what about the one we're recording this Friday night? I guess it's probably not going to be here on Friday night. Huh?
Well, one, that's not us. That's actually Vox Scream, and I don't even have your address yet, so it's not going to be to you by Friday. So
that's that. You could pay for overnight shipping.
I'm not going to pay for overnight shipping. I already paid for the thing, so just
okay. Well, I appreciate the gift, and I will. And Chuck, I got a present for you.
Do you?
Not a good one.
What's your present?
I'm making your job harder. My computer is currently frozen on the screen. I can't Alt F4 or anything. I'm hearing you guys, but it's just stuck.
I mean,
we're just running with it.
Focus for once.
I was gonna see if like the problem is I can't mute or anything, and I can't shift.
We're gonna run with it, man.
No, we can't.
You're live. You're live the whole night.
No, I'm gonna go crazy because what it was is I realized I still had Helldivers open because I was playing that before we started, and when I closed it, now it's just doing the Helldivers like theme on like the audio loop, like kind of what would happen on a PlayStation 2 when a game would crash. So it's driving me insane.
Yeah, well, that's tough.
I mean, it's glorious, for democracy.
Yeah, I'm surprised your computer actually runs Helldivers.
No, I did. I got a for Christmas and my birthday. My friends socialized together and got me new computer shit. Mostly it was just I needed some updated SSDs and more RAM. So now my computer is actually pretty good again. Until now,
you had Helldivers and it froze in the middle of the podcast. So
yep.
Great. We're gonna go with it. So because
Connor's playing Helldivers on the podcast, you guys. You heard it here. So
I'm not. I'm just slowly going crazy. So I'll be back in a second.
No, you're fine. You just stay there.
Oh,
you're good.
Wait, did that? Please. Okay, the music stopped. We're good, I think.
Okay. maybe you need a little bit more RAM.
I'm not sure why. It's just like it won't let me alt. Like I can hit alt tab and other shit happens, and I can open up like Zencaster or Discord, and it'll just go right back to Helldivers. It's very strange.
Well,
Well, this is some riveting content.
absolutely.
It is.
It's time to go into tech support mode. We're gonna go and diagnose Connor's computer live. You guys can see the worst part of working in IT. If you don't already work in IT, no, that'd be awful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
would
we're not
not
gonna
be.
do that. So, anyways, episode 69, the nicest episode you're ever going to hear. We had a lot of new people that joined on our last episode with Sammy, and so welcome if you're back again. This is kind of the normal bullshit we do.
Yeah.
We're not professional.
Sometimes we have people that are actually smart and good at the game, like last time, and then we lure you in, and then you get to hear us talk about dumb stuff. So, let's talk about dumb stuff, like our favorite books in 40K. So, a big part of Kill Team and a big part of Warhammer is the lore, and I mean, there's some people that are in it just for the lore. Um,
I
so
love the lore.
I'm assuming we've all done our homework and brought like our favorite books in 40K. So, Connor, why don't you start? What's your favorite robot book in 40K?
Right now it's probably Dominion Genesis. It's probably the newest AtMech book. Really fun series. Or
So give us sell it a little bit more than that.
yeah, it's the best part of AdMech. They go exploring, trying to find some cool shit. It mentions a dead Forge world by name Griffin 4, one of the cooler Forge worlds, really cool pattern. Unfortunately, entire world got eaten by Tyranids, so that's no good. So then, this is also a book written by Jonathan Beer, I believe. Yes, Jonathan D. Beer. There we go. Named the author properly. But it's about a explorator tech priest, which is kind of their version of like a rogue trader. And their whole job is trying to find a new place for the remnants of Griffin 4 to go and, make a new Forge World for. And they find some like cool technology. And they've been tracking down shit, but they've kind of been losing their sanity the entire time. So it's a fun, like, space pirate adventure book with also the concept of like maybe a mutiny on the way, but that's about as much as I can go without giving spoilers.
And what was the name of that book again?
That is Dominion Genesis.
Dominion Genesis. Tyler, what about you? Or any
man.
comments on Dominion Genesis?
I haven't read Dominion Genesis, but I have read some of the because he did Warhammer Crime short story. I want to say.
I know you do like the Warhammer crime stuff, right?
Those are very good.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. And so like actually, I think he did another short or something that I haven't read. But yeah, I think that my favorite recently was Elemental Council. I think it was incredible. Possibly one of the best 40K books, period. But like as a Tau book, I think it's like the definitive Tau book. I did the new Farsight book right after, and it was definitely it was different for sure. Not as good. Other than that, I also like Firecast a lot. Even though it's named after the Tau, it's not really focused on them so much. Like they're involved, but the main characters are human. I think that's like an incredible and like slept on book. It does, as far as the audiobook goes, it's a little rough just because of the way the narration goes. It's like, what is it? What's that book? Or the book about hunting the lions in Africa?
Heart of Darkness.
Yeah, Heart of Darkness. It's very Heart of Darkness in 40K.
Oh wait, really? I just made a guess. I had no idea. Look at me.
Yeah, 100%. It's very Heart of Darkness 40K with like weird, warpy, like cool stuff. I think it's like really, really well done. The Beckwin books are fantastic. The worst book though, I think, is Awakenings. Have you guys
Which
ever?
one's that?
It is so okay. Did you guys ever read the Dark Angel Grey Knight Inquisitor comic?
No.
Didn't even know that existed.
Okay, well I'll find you guys a very legitimate link for it on the internet tonight. Okay, it's really a quick read, worth reading, but it's so it follows like this one Inquisitor, Okay. And spoilers, at the end of it, she gets fucking capped in the dome by a Grey Knight with a bolter. Okay. That's how the book fucking ends, or the comic ends with her. She's like fucking shot. So this
Spoiler
book,
alert.
yeah, right. She sucks. You'll hate her. So this book starts with her getting revived, brought back to life, and her going on a, like, I don't know, like, cheesy action movie romp across the galaxy with a tech priest, a squat, a smart ogre, like it, and then they're like after like uh, a heretic, a chaos cultist, a Xeno, and like they walk into a bar and they literally make a joke about that, but it reads like a joke and it's bad and all the characters are unlikable and they're all Mary Sue's and it's real awful.
Okay. Tyler, just quick question from your recommendations though. Are you turning in like one of these commie fish people? Are you gonna like start playing Tau? You've been real deep into like the Tau culture as of recent.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
seems.
like, I've read all of the Tao books. Like, I really I enjoy books that follow stuff that's not the mainline Imperium a lot, or like smaller factions of it, like the Rogue Trader series, the Navigator stuff. There's one like there's like another like Administratum series that I haven't started yet, but it's on my, like, I already own it and like ready to listen. Anything with like aliens or from the alien perspective, because so much of the lore is like Imperial focused. It's humans
Bolter
and
porn.
bolter porn and stuff like that. And
Woo-hoo.
I think like a lot of the the stuff outside of that is like an interesting look at the universe as a whole. Um, I've read a ton of 40K books. And I've been reading them for a long time. I probably read like 150 or something like that. Um, so like I've read plenty of bolter porn. There's like good stuff in that. I definitely enjoy it from time to time, but I find myself looking for like different avenues of exploration in the setting that the smaller and like weirder stuff can give you. I'm listening to like the High Calzoth right now, actually, and boy, that is the most like sci-fi jargon I've ever heard in a 40K book in like the first little bit. Like that meme about like when you get a sci-fi book, it's just like a bunch of words you don't know, using a bunch of like weird context.
Yes.
Yeah,
I have
or, yeah,
I have a hard time that with even different fantasy stuff that
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know the realm.
Yeah, like where so, but like the squat book or the Votan book, it's like the Brocknir gets the Einden. It's like just like a ton of made up words,
Oh
and
yeah.
they're all rammed together, and then they're in the bioship, and like
Who's the
um
author? Out of curiosity.
I forget. Let's see.
Rock and
We'll pull it up.
Stone.
God damn it, Chuck.
Yeah. And then they're on like a bioship, and do you know what the most 40K word is? Gobbets. Do you guys have you noticed that word inside of 40K books?
Never heard that in a 40K
Not
book.
that I know of.
They use it all the time in every book. There'll be a battle, and they'll be like, and gobbets of blood or something like that.
I don't think
It's Gabthorpe.
Gabthor. Okay.
So
he
it's
did.
gonna be
I think
good.
he did. Didn't he do like some of the Blood Angels ones, Devastation of Ball and stuff?
Yeah, I think he did.
I was gonna say that's one of mine. Oh no, that's Guy Haley actually.
Yeah.
So different.
Do you know who I hate? Jude Reed. Also, I think Jude Reed is a crappy author.
What have they wrote?
What did Jude Reed write?
I mean, they wrote Demon Breaker. We did a whole.
You did.
We tried
we
to
did,
do it. We tried to
did
do
a whole
thing.
book club, kind of.
Yeah, that's. I think that actually Demon Breaker. Sorry, Zach, love you, but Demon Breaker, I think, kind of like
Demon broke our
shuttered the book club.
Yeah,
that's what it broke because
I mean, like
previous to that we'd done Horse Rising. We had done God, what else have we done? We did the Day of Ascension.
The Brutal and Cunning one, which was okay.
Yeah, it was fine. The AdMech got their ass kicked. That was fun.
I mean, I don't even mind the AdMech getting their ass kicked. That happens in most of the books where they're the main faction. It's just like it felt reddity at times.
Yeah, even though I'm the orkiest player around now, being number one in the country with Rekkas, I just can't get into the orc books. This I just Brutal and Cunning wasn't it for me. But yeah, I think Demon Breaker kind of demon broke the book club, so maybe we'll have to fire the book club back up again.
Yeah, absolutely. What about what's some of your favorite books, Chuck? We haven't asked you yet.
So if you're looking for like non-mainline, non bolter porn, obviously you have to go with the Eisenhorn books.
Well, to be fair, this is episode 69, so maybe we should focus on the bolter porn.
Well, if you want bolter porn, actually, what's a good bolter porn book?
Probably something out of Horus Heresy.
Ren's World is like one of the best bolter porn books.
Wayne's World? I don't remember any bolters at all in Wayne's World.
Ren,
yeah. Crimson Fist.
You of all people should know that name.
Man, Crimson Fist also. Let's talk real quick. I'm gonna hate on the Imperial Fist. It should be the Crimson Fist that should be the main line. And the Ultramarines should be the Crimson Fist. This should be the mainline chapter. You know? Second founding. They're way cooler. They're badass. They look cool. You know? Like, as far as, like, poster boys, it should be Pedro Cantor. I want a Primaris Pedro Cantor. You guys see, I'm getting deep in the cuts, and it's not even that deep.
I know who Pedro Cantor is, and we know who the Crimson Fists are. But I actually, gosh, now I'm that sparks other books that I really like. I really liked Hell's Reach. Hell's Reach was amazing.
See, I think it's actually kind of good that the Imperial Fists are a little bland, especially by the time of 40K, because they have so many kick-ass successors that it kind of works in the sense of like the whole Last of All protocol, and that the flame that they carried in the heresy has moved on to the successors, where most of the cooler characters went to form their own chapters.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, they're no Dark Angels, so like,
I mean,
you know, what can you do? Like, you know. Have you guys read the Iron Snakes books?
The which ones?
Iron
Snake? No. The Brotherhood of the Snake? Fuck you guys.
No.
God. Have
Tyler,
you read
you've probably read more books than I'm willing to bet half the server put together. Like, if you were just to grab literally half the KTC server at random and combine all the books they read versus yours, probably still less.
Probably. I mean, like, I've literally been reading Warhammer books for over 20 years. You know, like, also they gave, you know, Jude Reed the new Fulgrim book. They should have brought back Ian Watson and let him write an absolute insane book for Fulgrim.
Actually, the Fulgrim book is one of Nick's favorite books, actually, too.
Like the new Fulgrim book, or like the
Horus Heresy book.
Yeah, the new Fulgrim book. Apparently, it's supposed to be a big stinker. Fulgrim, the Heresy book, is incredible. I mean, like one of the greatest in the entire Heresy. So
the only thing I know about that one, actually, I started the Fulgrim book and I couldn't get into it. I need to get back to it. The first 3 books of the Horus Heresy, loved them. Horus Rising. What are the other ones now?
I can't remember. But Flight of the Eisenstein, that's number 4.
Flight of the Eisenstein was good. False Gods is one of them.
That's number 2. I can't remember number 3. I'd go look it up, but my computer is fucked.
Let's see. Then it gets like
Horus Heresy books.
We got Horus Rising, Galaxy in Flames, Flight of the Eisenstein, then Fulgrim. So it's like Fulgrim's the 5th.
Yeah, and I could not get into Fulgrim. Once he got to the part where he was like painting with poop. I had to pass on that one.
God forbid a man have a hobby, Chuck.
Right. So my books, though, the Eisenhorn books, and when are they going to give us the third Beckwin book? They've been teasing that for years. The Eisenhorn books, I think, are just good books that happen to take place in 40K, which is they made me fall in love with like Inquisitors and stuff, and then be wildly disappointed when the Inquisitorial agents come out, because you play as Ravenar, but not the good Ravenar, like the basic bitch Ravenar. Hell's Reach, which I mentioned before, which is God, I can't remember anybody's name now. Should have done more research.
Black Templars.
It's Black Templars, and it is who's the main guy? Their chaplain.
Grimaldus.
Grimaldus, yes.
Yeah.
Grimaldus on Armageddon. That was a super good one. The Caiaphas Cain books, I think, are really cool. Have either of you guys read any of the Caiaphas Cain ones?
I read like the first one or two.
Yeah.
I've actually never done the Gaunt's Ghost or Caiaphas Cain books.
Really?
Very different books. Caiaphas Cain is more like more fun and playful, and Caiaphas Cain, if you know him as a character, he's essentially like he's
imposter syndrome manifest.
Not really imposter syndrome. Like he's more, everything he does is to save his own ass, but by saving his own ass, he ends up putting himself in situations where he has to become the hero. So
I think it's that, but I do think he is like an actually capable person. He just doubts himself so much he doesn't realize that. But that mixed with him not wanting to be in the shitty spots in the first place is what combines to be such a lovable character.
Yeah. For the Emperor is the first Caiaphas Cain book, and I love that book.
That one's a good one.
Blackstone Fortress, I think,
Blackstone Fortress was so good.
Is a great book. Fun fact, if you listen to the audiobook, which I can't read anymore, so I just listen to audiobooks, the first Blackstone Fortress has amazing narration. The second Blackstone Fortress uses different people for the same characters, and it's wildly jarring. It was hard to get through.
Oh my god. So I recently read through or listened through the Burke series, which is like one of my all-time favorite book series. And like, so the first book narrator, he doesn't hit it, but like, I want to say like the third book in, they switched to this one guy. Okay. And he's so good. Like his narration is perfect for the character. Just like the way that he reads the character, his accent, like, it's like New York, but like it's like not too hard.
Hey, I'm walking you.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not over the top. It's just like subtle enough, and like it's so good. His performance makes like what are already like some really incredible books that much better. And then like second to the last book in the series, it fucking changes to a new guy. Okay, and this new guy has like a little bit more of like a noir style of reading Burke, okay? And like Burke is definitely like noir influenced, but like it gets into a little too 20s detective style. And that's not the character. Burke is a thug, so like
not like a grimy detective.
I mean, like he's a grimy detective, but he's also a thug first and foremost.
Just
not like
me.
Yeah, exactly. When I think of you, I think of grimy thug.
100%.
I think of Orc with Chuck, and me, I'm like clean cut and professional. Very organized also. That's the people you're listening to on the Vox Cascadia podcast.
Yeah, so if you're like a newer listener, take all of those and reverse them, and that is actually who we really are.
You know what I would like to do is if we like somehow had listeners that had yet to meet any of us in person, just like draw or photo bash or just describe what they imagine us looking like, because like you've seen photos of us or the like, but obviously there's got to be a little bit of disconnect between just only knowing someone via like audio. So it'd be fun to hear what people think of us visually. Not hot, of course. Obviously, we're all three totally hot.
Exactly, like good. Yeah. 3 Adonises on a podcast.
That's why we don't do video, because we don't want to distract from
our flexing abs and
with I'm just like oiling my Kegels here. Just
whoa. We save that stuff for the only spans. So like we also we don't want to hurt our revenue stream.
I mean, if I was hot, you'd know it, and I would have an OnlyFans. I'd 100% do OnlyFans. So if I could make money, yeah, thanks, buddy.
I think I probably could. Like, I'm definitely like a type, but like, I'm not. I wouldn't want to. I couldn't do it. So
I think we're all a type. It's just whose type are we, and is there enough people out there with wallets that want to contribute to that type? Connor,
what's up, buddy?
I don't know. I lost it.
Nice easy transition.
Yeah, there you
here.
I mean, other books. I was going to say Flesh and Steel by Guy Haley. Probably my favorite 40K book I've read entirely.
It's so good. It's so
Yeah,
good.
Tyler's read
Like,
it. Chuck, have you
What's
read
what's
it?
no, I don't even know that one. Which one is that?
Warhammer
So first of
Crime.
all, it's got AdMech. It's good. Second of all,
Hate it.
Warhammer Crime. So it's real good.
Oh man, the fucking the tech priest in that is like the coolest representation of a tech priest anywhere in 40K I've seen.
Oh, the other main character? Like
The no, like the I guess like the dominus of like the fabric or the fabricator general.
yeah.
The fabricator
Yeah.
general is so fucking badass, or like fabricator of the planet or whatever his role is.
Yeah.
He's so incredibly badass. Like just like a crazy depiction of like AdMech.
Yeah, they did a really good job for context, Chuck. Flesh and Steel. It's like a fun detective story because it's Warhammer Crime, and the premise is servers are going rogue and killing their masters. So a human detective and then like the equivalent of like an FBI agent type of deal from the AdMech have to team up and figure out the crimes. And the best reason for why they have to team up is because like it's on this world, a hive world, but there's still like essentially districts that are managed and run by the AdMech. And one of the crime scenes, I think it's like the second one, the servitor perfectly bisects the body halfway on the AdMech side, halfway on the like normal human Imperium side. So they have to team up and solve it together. And it is fantastic. We get some proper cool AdMech, like since their soft relaunch in 7th edition, like representation, like it's all meant to be, ooh, look, I'm naming the units. But it's fun when you get to actually have your units be named properly instead of just like an Adeptus Mechanicus Rhino. We get probably some of the best like body horror of any Warhammer book, especially just showing the normal banality, like the normal evil that AdMech commit on just a galactic scale all the time, and they don't even shrug at it anymore. And plus, it's just a fun like adventure of solving the crime and shit.
Absolutely, fantastic. I think like all of the Warhammer Crime stuff is really good. King of the Spoils is one of the coolest Warhammer books. Also, one of my favorites. You know, I think that there's also like the first canonical gay kiss in any 40K book in King of the Spoil. So, like, that's pretty cool. You know, you just get like some cool human characters. And it also like puts in perspective like the difference between someone who's like a veteran of like a war. So like to return from an Imperial Guard war, like a tour of service, and be a veteran and survive, like those people in the setting when they get back to the planets, they're badasses, you know. And you get to see like the more private side of stuff in the Warhammer Crime stuff. So like, you know, you get to see like people doing military contracting and private security and like all this cool stuff that like really it's not there otherwise. And it's just like it's fucking dope.
It sounds like a pretty cool one. I've never read any of the Warhammer Crime ones. I actually got one of the horror ones a couple years ago, and I actually bought the book and I was going to read it, and haven't read it. So I do need to dig into some of those. Infinite and the Divine, though, I think is also like one that you have to read. It's not bolter porn, it's not mainline story stuff, and it's a kind of a buddy comedy sort of.
Yeah, it's like you know, enemies to lovers, to enemies to lovers to enemies.
Yeah.
You know, like it. Yeah, I was actually gonna get to that next. I don't think we can talk about great books in the setting and not talk about Infinite and Divine. Absolutely,
that one's by
killer.
Robert Rath, right?
Yeah. All the Trazen books are really fun, honestly. Like I like all of his stuff. You know, and then another major character who's fantastic is Fabius Bile. His series is incredible too. Like really an interesting character, you know.
I've never dug into any of his stuff. Connor, have you ever dug into what's your
call books? No, I
Yeah.
have not. I tried. I've started like twice the Great Workbook, and it just doesn't grab my attention. It's just kind of slow. It's not really interesting. As cool as a character Call is, he's not someone that like particularly stands out to me as someone I want to read about necessarily. I'll give it a shot again at some point, but it hasn't ever grabbed my attention.
I thought, you know, what it was, the great work was solid. And then his next one with Fabius Bile, that was super cool. Like, but like Fabius Bile just like fucking punks him basically. Spoilers. Sorry. The book's been out for over a year, so we can do that at this point.
Is that what the threshold is? 1 year for spoilers?
I think so.
I
Like
think
there's
that's
too much
fair
out
for a
there.
book.
Yeah, like if you can't finish a book within a year, like, and then you're like, don't spoil. It'd be like someone be like, dude, don't spoil the end to Game of Thrones for me. And it's like, okay, like this show fucking ended forever ago. Like, what do you mean don't spoil it? I don't. What do you mean Darth Vader's Luke's dad? Like, in this day and age, come on.
I'm surprised you even know that. You hate Star Wars.
Hey, he started watching Andor finally.
I
That's
didn't.
true.
I didn't actually.
Well,
I,
You're getting punked.
I fell asleep on the couch instead with my cats, so that was lovely. Both of
Hey.
them.
That's pretty much the plot of Andor, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, like,
what?
No.
like he falls asleep with his cats, like, and then he forgets to do something on the Death Star, and it blows up, right? Like that's Star Wars. Like,
Wait, the Death Star blows up?
yeah, technical malfunction.
Chuck, did you not like Andor?
No, Andor's great.
Oh, okay.
I like
I
Andor.
thought you were like saying because it's like a slow show, and I was like, I'm gonna kill you.
I mean, the first 3 episodes are pretty fucking slow.
They are slow, but it's not like a bad slow. You can feel the tension growing throughout.
Yeah, like, so Andor is on my list. Everyone says it's like incredible, like really like peak Star Wars, and like I'm a Star Wars hater, but like I also enjoy it. Like, I won't say that I don't. So I'm hoping that it like brings back some love for me. But like my TV backlog is so huge, like my girlfriend like has her like rotation show that she watches, and then we have like shows we watch together, that we got to get through. So like it's a lot. There's too much media these days.
There really, really is too much media, and we're creating more of it right here now for you.
Absolutely.
So, gentlemen,
Thank you for consuming.
Thank you for consuming. But gentlemen, thanks for some great suggestions on books. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this again and read a few of those down actually that I haven't read. So, but we do have some questions on our Ask Vox Cascadia. So let's get to those for episode 69. So
Nice.
Tristan, and I think this is specifically for you, Connor, asked, how are babies made?
Well, when a mommy tech priest and a daddy tech priest love each other very much, they go to the cloning biovats and they design a template and they put it in the growing vat. And then a couple of weeks later, your little flesh demon baby is born. And then you get to raise it and replace its limbs with robots stuff. And then you have your own tech son or tech daughter.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it works in the real world too.
That or storks, I think. Storks are involved somehow.
Oh, man, I love storks. I watch these storks on a webcam. I posted about it in the Discord every night. They're so nice. They just had some babies. They're so cute.
Like they kidnapped a human baby?
Yes, they kidnapped
Nice.
Two storks kidnapped a human baby, and they are raising it on a webcam for everyone to watch.
Isn't that the plot of that one Jim Carrey movie that I'm blanking on the title of now?
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective?
Yes. No, the one where he's like in a reality TV show.
Truman Show?
Truman Show.
Yeah.
That's the Truman Show, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's Truman Show, yeah. Did you hear, did you guys actually hear about I think there was a guy in like Japan who essentially was like,
oh, bro,
on a Truman Show and didn't know he was?
Mm-hmm. He like signed up to do a game show and like kidnapped him and stuck him in a room, and they're like, here's a bunch of contests and a piece of paper. You have to win everything you need to survive. And then he did it for like a year, and he's supposed to get a prize. And then like when the year hit, they just kidnapped him and put him somewhere else and made him do it again, and like took all of his stuff. And then like at the end of that year, same thing happened. They flew him to like China or something, and then like he was like horribly traumatized, but also like a huge celebrity in Japan.
I mean, you got to get famous somehow, right?
I mean, you gotta pay the price. Pay the piper.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, actually, I do want to jump back to the lore piece. Do y'all read the lore in the rule books?
Yeah.
Every time.
I try to, and I think it's just because I can't read. I need an audiobook version of it. Connor, can you like take the Blood and Zeal book if you have it and just narrate that for me?
Yeah, I can do that for you, buddy.
I appreciate that. So, from Olive, we have Fuck Mary Kill, the Brood Brothers Patriarch, the Blooded Ogren, and the guy hanging from the Nemesis Claw Ventriloquar's staff. So, Fuck Mary Kill, the Patriarch, the Blooded Ogren, and the guy hanging from the staff.
I mean, I'm gonna kill the guy hanging from the staff, because like that looks like it sucks. I'm gonna fuck the patriarch and become a gene stealer, uh, alkalite, and marry the ogren, and we're gonna make a gene stealer ogren baby.
Connor?
Damn, that's actually a really good answer. I was gonna kill the Ogren, marry the Patriarch because then I can become royalty, and I guess that means I gotta fuck the Ventriloquar guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck the Ogren. I'm gonna kill the Patriarch. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm gonna fuck the Ventriloquar. I'm gonna marry the Ogren, and I'm gonna kill the Patriarch. So,
Nice spread of answers there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think the Ventriloquar. Actually, I think we'd work really well together. So, because I don't have a foot fetish, and that guy doesn't have feet. So, I don't know how it's gonna do anything for you, Connor.
Yeah, that's a good point. Also, Chuck, did you ever see Tyler's fan cam he made for me for the Blood and Zeal statue's foot?
I did actually.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask about that in the hobby portion because I know Tyler's pretty much almost done with the Blood and Zeal box, except for the except for the statue.
Yeah,
So
statue's gonna get painted by this weekend, so
nice.
I
You
think
gotta
we good.
take some extra time on the feet there.
I mean, like it's all gonna be bronze except for the feet. Like it's a the Emperor's miracle. They've given this statue fleshy feet.
Given the statue fleshy feet. So, Connor, do you have the Google Doc pulled up? Because
No, Chuck, I can't.
oh, that's right, your computer's broken.
I'm trying to find his message so I can read the answer.
Hold on, I'll just paste it into the chat here because Ryan had a question.
It,
Ryan's question was, what's the difference between Hearthkin and Hernkin lore-wise? And I said Sean should just answer this. He should just do a recording. And he did send us a recording, so let me play that real quick.
Rock and Stone.
But the real answer...
oh,
I should have known the second you said that. This is good, man. That's good.
Connor,
You want me to read out this answer?
I want you to read out this answer, yes, please.
All
So
right.
the difference between Hernkin and Hearthkin in the lore.
Yeah, so first of all, the difference between them is there is no difference. They're dirty AI worshipping freaks and should be put down as the heretics they are. But I guess from the perspective of those dwarves, the answer is Harnkin are more adventurous and willing to take on greater risks to benefit the kin, usually more independent and willing to strike out and take on danger. They are the explorers who press against the more conservative Votan norms to push the race to expand and try new areas to increase their own survival. Hearthkin are the more armored civilian rank and file of the Votan, non-specialized for things like exploration or research like Brokir or Harnkin. What the fuck? Okay. They are highly trained for battle and are better at following direct orders than their counterparts, which is a huge reason the Votan are so successful in survival calculations, less wild cards. Both are chosen in differentiating population numbers by the Votan when creating new batches via the clone schemes. So they come out with a predetermined job and can pursue promotions and honors within that job. Things like becoming a Thin or Call or even High Call, but they don't cross over to other ranks like joining the Hearthguard or Harnkin, etc. And then there was a fire and a 100 emoji.
yeah,
Rock and Stone.
fucking, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's it kind of goes over that in the first part of the I Call's Oath. Like it pretty subtly breaks down all of those weird words. Brokir, Hearthkin, Harnkin,
Heartkin, that's a heart doctor.
Yeah. Thane Call, High Call, um another thing is they're totally cool with dyed hair and weird you know, weird body mods and tattoos and you can be trans as kin too, they're super progressive other than being damn space capitalist. Dude, they kill Tyranid bioships. They're like hunting in them, which is kind of crazy. Like how many factions in 40K can do that? Not too many. Like for a Space Marine to do it, it's pretty crazy. Like what Uriel Ventress does it in his books.
I haven't read those ones either, buddy.
Sure.
Or no, Cato Sicarius does in his books.
Oh, during the first Tyrannic War?
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Oculus. He did a cover of that recently, and I was able to before. Or maybe it was Duncan, and then I found not Duncan. Who's the other really awesome Lord Tuber who does over like
Voldemort?
No, Arbiter Ian, who goes over like the actual IRL history as well. Both him and Oculus, great Lord Tubers, highly recommend.
Ian's the best, like most accurate lore person out there if you're looking for videos.
Also, don't forget, Tyler, your favorite part of Arbiter Ian?
I mean, it's like the way that Mira and Ian look at each other during the book club.
That's what I was looking for.
Are they married?
No,
I don't even think like. I think Ian's married to someone else.
Ooh,
and
Tyler trying to create drama.
Who knows? No, I mean, like, my
Connor,
I didn't even notice
it.
My partner noticed it. She goes, "If a woman ever looked at you the way Mira looks at Ian, I would kill her." And I was like, "Whoa, baby, calm down." She's like, "No, it's not okay." Like there's, I was like, "I see it, but like, whoa."
Yeah, Connor, you got to go back and just watch like as Ian's talking, as how Mira gazes into his eyes,
especially the early ones. It's the early ones, especially like the first few that they do.
Tyler, you interrupted him, but Connor, I want you to say that again.
It's the same way I gaze at you, Chuck.
Thank you, buddy. So yeah,
Chuck's
that's
dreamy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So that is the difference between Hernkin and Hearthkin, and I still don't know the difference. So, and finally for Ask Vox Cascadia, we had Greg. Greg said, if you were to make a heist movie out of Kill Team operatives, how would you do it? Who would the protagonists, the antagonists, and what would the loot be? Where would the setting be? What would be the big twist? So this is a pretty big question.
I got it.
But Connor's got it.
I've been thinking about this. As anyone that's listened to this podcast for a while knows, I love heist movies and I love buddy cop movies. And most of all, in terms of 40K, I love the dichotomy between the Sisters of Battle, or rather the Adeptus Sororitas and the Adeptus Mechanicus. Both worship the Emperor in very different ways and often can likely come to blows over that. So obviously, they're going to be like the protagonist side. We'll have like a Sister of Battle and a Vanguard Alpha as our main two. The enemies, obviously Chaos Space Marines, because they're just easy. Everyone hates them. They make for good enemies. And they're like defiling a shrine world, right? And the object they got to steal back is some sort of thing that the sisters call like a holy weapon relic of some, previous living saint that died hundreds of years ago, and the world's now blessed because of that. And the AdMech have put together 2 and 2 after like years of investigation that holy weapon relic is actually like the fragment of some sort of STC or something that they want their hands on because, AdMech be AdMech. And so the whole movie is they got to infiltrate this world during the middle of like a Chaos Space Marine like invasion, or maybe like directly after a Chaos Space Marine invasion, like when they've already taken over the planet and they're converting everything into like Forge or whatever they call their like the stuff that makes all the demon engines, and they're like enslaving the human population. So like not only is there the potential of like still loyalist imperial elements, but they're vastly outnumbered, but also they have to, avoid detection from this vastly growing Chaos Space Marine force. And then like the third act thing is like both the sister who's been sent on this mission and the Scutari, like eventually they're the last two of their both like squads sent, and both received word from their higher ups like, you got to get this relic at all costs. And so we'd have like that classic act 3 of like who's going to betray who, or like is the Chaos Space Marine Force going to like catch them and be able to take them out and they'll win. And then, they'll get the item, and then I don't know. Maybe we'll have AdMech win because I like that. Maybe we'll keep it ambiguous because that's always fun. Or maybe we just say, fuck it, Chaos Space Marines win because it's 40K and the good guys, in quotation marks, of course, can never
win. I think it's just Johnny English, which is the Mr. Bean movie, but instead of it being Mr. Bean, it's The Grot.
God. 2 very different movies, both sound incredible.
Yep. So mine was just as well thought out as yours. Is what I'd like to say.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
No, Connor, that was amazing.
You
I
know,
think we should write that up.
I
Sell that
agree.
to
Like, let's
GW.
get
This
this in
could
a
be
book
the
or
next
a
animation
movie.
that we put up that gets like copyright striked.
Dude, I mean, hey,
Mhm.
I'll write. I have an in with GW now. I briefly talked to an author, so my book deal's
Let's.
on the way.
You're basically friends at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
we
like
are
you're.
technically mutuals, so
Yeah.
I work for
I mean, like
GW now.
I mean, like they're coming to your uh wedding next year,
Yeah,
right? Your
that
second wedding, vow renewal, right?
pretty much.
That's
Oh, I
like they've
guess
already committed.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, um, I think that there's a lot of options for like heist movies and Kill Team. I think Corsairs would make like a really good protagonist. I think that they're like interesting. They got a lot of cool tech, a lot of like personality. What was that movie? Aces High, Aces Wild, or something like that. Um,
Smoking
that had like
Aces.
I don't remember. It was like a weird hitman movie with like a lot of
Smoking Aces.
Oh yeah, Smoking Aces. So like it'd be kind of like that, like there'd be like a lot of people coming after them, or like they'd all be going for the same thing. And so you got all of the things. You got like Chaos Cult is going for this object also, and like the main villain in the whole thing would be Necron. It'd be Hyrotech Circle, because like they hate each other, like classic beef there, and the twist at the end, that would be that it's all part of like Trazen's little collection, and he's just playing them for fun.
By the way, Smoking Aces 31% on Rotten Tomatoes. So if you're looking
It's
for
bad. It's
Oof.
a bad movie.
yeah,
That's
that's the one where they're in like I think they're in like Reno.
Yeah,
just go
yeah.
to
They,
Vegas.
No, that's that. I mean, the fact that it's
it
in
fits
Reno and not
perfect.
Vegas should
Uh-huh.
tell you everything you need to know.
No, 100%. Oh, I guess it is. Maybe it is in Las Vegas. But yeah, no,
I think it's in Reno.
it's
I'd
a
look it
bad
up, but I'm
movie.
stuck.
But like also like it's
Feels
kind of
so
charming
good.
in like a stupid kind of way. The other one is Ratlings. Ratlings obviously like
Oh, that's
in a
perfect.
more
Like, yeah.
and like for the people, it's got to be chaos. You got to have chaos space marines, and like just general chaos worshippers. But like tiny Ratlings, especially like a small squad of them, in kind of like a Inglorious Bastards kind of a heist movie. And the twist would be that they eat it at the end.
Actually, Smoking Aces was Lake Tahoe. It wasn't in Reno.
Oh, that's a
that's
beautiful
basically
look.
Reno.
Hey, don't be doing Lake Tahoe bad like that. That's a gorgeous place to go.
I'd like to see all of your movies, especially the ones where the Rattlings bite at the end. Because fuck anybody with Seek. That's just I got screwed
That's
over
fair.
at Adepticon a couple times because
You
I forgot that
Are they-
Seek.
Are they your new hatred, kind of like the way the Drakari Grenade, or is the Drakari Grenade always going to be your number one?
It's always going to be Drakari Grenade. But no, me and Nick played real dumb, and I forgot that I stood there. I talked about this before, but I stood there and watched him get. I think they have Seek Light maybe, but we were standing on top of the Octarius barricade, and I was like, and I watched Nick get shot. I'm like, dude, why'd you go out there? You got shot. That was stupid. And I stood there and got shot myself. So it was yeah. So
Way
screw
to
those
go,
guys.
buddy.
Yeah. So thanks, Greg, for that question.
Yeah,
and
that was
then
fun.
I did find a question from Reddit that I actually really liked. If you could keep one classified year one team fully legal, not that we're not going to be playing them anyways, but for shits and giggles, fully legal beyond September, October, who would you want to keep? What's the season one team that you would want to move on and be able to still be played past that? Say we want to go to Tacoma next year with them.
I think Blooded or Corsairs are my picks there. I think that they're like two fairly unique and cool teams. Like they've
gotta
shown
pick one.
like either one. You can flip a coin. I'll say Blooded because I love you, Brandon. So
Connor, what about you?
I actually want to hear your answer first because I want to pick something different from you, and I'm not going to go with my standard answer.
Okay. I might pick Corsairs, I think, actually. I think I've never actually I've only played against Corsairs, but I really love them as a kill team. I think the models look amazing. They're tricksy elves bullshit, but they got toned down a little bit, so I think they're better. So I think I'd have to go with them, even though I'm the orkiest guy around now.
Okay, that's why I'm glad I had you go, because for me it's tied between Corsairs and Phobos. Corsairs are really cool. I like what they kind of do in the game. I think they're probably one of the best design teams they have, because their like faction ability is just so simple, but like the second you see it, you're like, holy shit, I can get how this is very powerful. And they're just kind of a fun team. They're a good like mix of damage and specialists, without being like crazy overcomplicated. So in that case, yeah, Phobos, similar thing. I like them. I think they fit a niche that's like really important to the kill team of being a proper kill team. They are just cool Marines because they play differently than any of the other Marines with their uniquely different profiles and everything. They have a lot of fun options and stuff that you can do, and like they'll never get old because there's always new operatives and new tech you can try out. And I'm gonna be sad to see them go.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
that they're a fun team too. I like I'm a Space Marine guy at heart, and I do like the Phobos models. I think they have too many operatives. They got like 47 different operatives you can choose from.
Not even close.
There's at least 18.
Yeah,
Well,
but
at least
I mean,
so at least,
there is the
Isn't
potential of being 47
isn't that the
operatives.
fun? Isn't that part of the fun? You know, you
nah.
model each and every single option as a unique character, give them a name.
There is only
You know,
14 data sheets, though. I guess if you want to debate like warriors with different stuff of like the Reavers, then you could have 15.
Yeah, you know me. I'm a basic box art bitch. I want like I'm surprised I don't play like Star Striders or like Gellerpox because there's no list building. Oh, I mean, I played Gastrican for a million years, and there's basically no list building in that either. So, you know how I am.
there's
I
so
don't. You
little
don't have
list
to make
building in
choices.
this game. There's so little list building.
I know,
You
but it's
know,
still too much for me sometimes.
It's okay,
that's
Chuck.
fair. I
Yeah,
know making that one option on the gunner is a lot sometimes.
yeah, it is. You know how many times I've been. I mean, you guys have seen me in Discord being like, "Hey, how do I build this team?" So, because I'm trying to figure out all the options because I can't figure it out myself. So, I want I want that's why I'm having a really good time with Rekkas, because there's kind of one option, and I don't even take that option. So,
That's fair.
well, gentlemen, thanks for joining. Everybody out there, get out there and read some books or listen to them if you're me.
Yeah.
We appreciate you listening in. Appreciate our patrons. Let's go and let me get the Patreon list here. I know I almost memorized it now. We got Jenna, Cody. That's as far as I got. We got Jenna, Cody, Sam, convert to Tyler's Big Oil, Sam, Sean, Nick, Holly, Zarin, Greg, Rob, Zach, Scott, uh, Keaton. Sorry, Keaton, I didn't make the Timbers game. I owe you a beer, and Ryan. So, if you like what we do, or even if you don't like what we do, and you want to just like hate donate to us, join the Patreon. Notes are in the show link. If you can't join the Patreon, give us a review. Give us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Comment on our YouTube channel.
Comment on the YouTube channel. Yeah, we've got a YouTube channel. People
Yeah,
actually watch there.
Do we? We have people watching on our YouTube?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got a couple people that
Wow.
watch it. So,
Thank
yeah.
you guys.
Comment what you think we look like.
Yeah, comment what you think we look like. If you haven't met us in person, if you have met us in person, comment what you wish we look like.
Fanfics are okay.
Yeah. We're actually going to be, so we're recording this on a Wednesday, and in a couple days we're going to be recording with our buddies on the East Coast at Vox Scream. So we're going to go over and be on their podcast. It sounds like that one's going to come out on May 21st, about probably. So take a listen to us on there. It's good. We're going to connect with those guys, and I think we're going to do talk about like 6 months of Kill Team and where we stand now. So those guys are fun, and it'll be good to reconnect with them.
It's going to be a blast. So yeah, you guys can hear more of their voices and ours soon.
Yeah. CritCon's going to be October 24th, 25th, and 26th. We should probably next week have tickets going live for that. We're going to have at least a 64-player Kill Team tournament with 2 golden tickets. We're gonna have Age of Sigmar, a bunch of Star Wars games. Sorry, Tyler. I think we're gonna do some Legions Imperialis or some Titanicus. We're gonna have a whole bunch of stuff going on. We got a new venue that we're gonna be at for the next couple of years. So
it's exciting. We've been working hard. I think it's gonna be really sick.
So thank you everyone for joining us. And Connor, did you take care of your mom for Mother's Day?
Yes, we had a lovely dinner at the Indian restaurant I've been going to a bunch recently.
Yeah, what'd you have?
I had what did I have? Mango lamb curry.
Did your mom tell you I texted her Happy Mother's Day?
God, I hope she did not. No.
She doesn't tell you that we text?
I don't like this conversation. Go read Imperfect Engines by Avalon Irons. And happy 69th, everyone. We love you so much. And because it's the 69th episode, we love you that way too.
Yeah, now, Connor, I'm kind of a sheltered guy. So why is the number 69 so significant anyways?
I don't know. I think it's like a sex position. I don't know. Yeah. I pretty much only hold hands as the good Lord intended.